This is a 2019 330i. It has a 2-port B58 swapped in it, and it's finally not slow. And when I say slow, I mean in comparison to my 4-cylinder when it used to make well over 500 horsepower before I swapped it. Right now, this is about as OEM plus as it ever gets. Even with this Pure600 turbo that is bringing it all together and actually making good power now. Now let's head out to Racebox in Houston to see how much over 500 horsepower this car makes. About to head out to Houston so we can see how much power the car is going to make. Along the way, we're going to stop at a car show. I'll show you some footage along the way. I'm at Racebox. You guys have heard me talk about them quite a few times. Finally here in person. All right, so I'm here with Alex. This is the Pure600 turbo that should technically, in theory, make at least 500 wheel horsepower at redline. I don't think 2-port, 6-port doesn't really make a huge difference in the grand scheme. But if I came here saying, hey, I don't care, it's not gonna perform in the street, but give me 500 wheel on the chart with a stock turbo, in theory, that's possible, right?
It'll peak at like 5,000, maybe 5,500 RPM, and then past that, it just really drops off. With the ZFA, with how short the gears are, if you shift at 6,000, you're right back at 5,000, where peak power is. You want power up top. Yeah, the stock turbo is not gonna do it. That's why you're doing this, right? You want that power to carry it on towards red line.
Now they have this listed for $1095, and you can technically use your stock inlet if you have like an M340i. We are gonna add flex fuel.
Yeah, Flex Fuel Kit.
Basically downpipe, tune, E40, flex fuel.
We can show the difference between a stock turbo car at 93 and an E40, and we can see the difference at each RPM. This is not a car you just get off the lot.
I actually have my 330 airbox with a K&N knowing it's torque happy. Aftermarket inlet, and I have like a Paradigm Engineering inlet into the turbo.
You could have just bought an M340i.
Hey, bro, then what am I gonna, where's the content?
And honestly, looking at the car, if you don't
can't
know,
tell.
you can't tell.
Except for the fog lights.
This guy knows so much more about these BMWs than
it's pretty sad, but
like that's well, I just to do this, and then the car go boom, and then
and he had 800 wheel, and he's like, look at this nerd freaking geeking out over like
out about 400 horsepower. You can't baseline this car today because you already have an upgraded turbo.
Yeah.
If you want a stock tune, it's not gonna make the same as stock.
It's conservative. This dyno.
We're already sweating here right now. When it's 80 degrees outside, you're gonna expect about 100 plus degrees in here. If you want to compare dyno numbers you see from one spot to another spot online, just keep in mind that no two dynos will read the same, even the same exact dyno jet or dyno whatever model. And we always post a baseline of the car, stock tune, if the car can run on a stock tune. The last pull you make, the peak number you make, means nothing to me if I don't know what the baseline is. I don't know what it's comparing to. Let's try the stock tune.
Okay.
And let's flash that and see what it does. this dyno, a stock tune, M340i, Supra, whatever, B58 TU car, usually dyno is 360 to 380 at the very top end. And for this car to be at 383 horsepower and 395 torque, really good torque by the way, with the stock tune and this turbo, that's pretty good. If you're just replacing the turbo and you're not tuning the car, no nothing, I think this is a great option. It runs really good. On the stock tune, you can add a little bit of ethanol. You can run as high as E20. That's what most people kind of stop at. Then the stock tune will compensate enough for the fueling for that to still run just fine. I think you'll see a little bit over 400. I would say good 400, 410 horsepower out of this. On the stock tune with just some ethanol mixed in. If you want a 400 wheel horsepower car without having to pay for the FinTel unlock and all that, that's pretty damn good.
This wouldn't have been as dippy if it had ethanol mixed into it.
Yeah, some corrections there. A little bit throttle closure. It is fighting there a little bit because this turbo is a lot happier than the stock turbo. We did custom tune the car on MHD with MHD Plus, no issues. Even though the car has mismatched engine,
torque converter.
Torque converter. This is. Yeah, you guys already know. You guys already know, but no issues in MHD Plus with tuning it. So on 93, we left it at 417 horsepower and 434 torque. This is typical what we see on these
stock turbo even.
Yeah, stock turbo cars. Yeah. Okay fuel quality. We usually like to get 420 to 430 on this dyno and about mid 400 torque.
So there's a little bit sacrifice on torque across the board.
Yeah, even on 93. So I don't want to push it too hard down here because we're already at over 90% waste EV on the turbo, trying to push 18 pounds of boost even down here. I don't expect this guy to be running his car on 93 hard all the time.
Almost never.
And 93 fuel quality is so hit or miss. This car with the fuel that you came in today read about 8 to 9% ethanol content on the Flex Fuel Kit. So that's one of the first indications that I know is like, okay, yeah, it's kind of like
not the best
gas when he has ethanol available. He has a Flex Fuel Kit, so why send it hard on 93? Respectable numbers, nice top end. Like I think that's still better top end than most 93 cars. Pretty flat power towards red line, and that's the same trend you're gonna see once we go up to ethanol. We have 2 poles pulled up. This is the 2 final poles we did on this car on about an E47, 45 to 47 mix. So both of these runs are right around 500 horsepower and about 530, 540 torque.
Which is about 20 less than you'd have with the stock turbo?
Yeah, and we'll pull up a stock turbo car to compare after this so you guys can see exactly what the differences are. But typically we don't see 500 horsepower on a stock turbo car on this dyno in this weather. You can see it's about 101 to 102 degrees temperature in here for these runs. And that's actually a cool day for us here. This is really, really respectable power for the weather, the DA and everything. 503 horsepower is the peak power we made, and 542 torque is the most we made.
The most notable RPM is probably around 6,000, where you start to see 30 to 50 wheel over a stock turbo at red line, near red line.
Let me show the worst one first.
Yeah, 2 examples, super healthy and then average or low.
Actually, I have 3 to compare. So this is an average Gen2 40i or any B58 TU car actually. It made 487 horsepower. 555 torque. We usually tell customers that a stock turbo E50 car will make anywhere from, if it's healthy, 470 to 490 wheel horsepower on this dyno. So 487 is right in the middle of that. You can see past 5,000 RPM, that steep drop in power right there. And that's where I think this turbo really shines. We pull up the cursor right here. It's at 6,000 RPM. On our best run today on your car is 501 horsepower. And then this car right here, the orange, is 455 horsepower. So that's a
10%.
That's a good drop. That's a good drop.
And when you shift, you're going to be riding this wave here.
You can shift it at 65, 68, even a 7,000 being limiter, and you ride back into peak power at 5,000, 5,500 RPM. I think this car would be a lot more fun. And honestly, if these 2 cars raced, a little bit of torque down low from the stock turbo
car, you'll get a bit of a hit.
And they might get you off the hit. But up top, every shift you're gonna just be walking away.
It'll probably be like 1 or 2 cars after like the time you're done.
Like 130, 140. You're gonna absolutely like gap this car from up top. Like so.
Because
and that's cool.
Once you go all the way.
So if you actually look at 6,500 RPM, 6,500 RPM. The better one that you did today was 484 horsepower.
That was targeting 23 psi. I think.
Versus this guy at 434 horsepower. So that's a 50 horsepower difference right there at 6,500 RPM.
ITs weren't that crazy, right? They're under 120?
All under 120, which in this weather is very impressive. So, and we also had, we did the best with cooling in here, the best we can. We're still sweating, we're still wet.
It's still hot in here, So if someone has a stock turbo and it's smoking, you shouldn't buy an OEM turbo. You get to slap this in and not even, this is half as much,
as a stock turbo.
Yeah, so like under 1,100 bucks, right?
Yeah.
So you slap it in, you gain roughly 10%. up top.
Yeah.
The beauty of this is I think this would be the only way to do it with a stock tune.
Yeah, I think
if
so.
you have a femto lock car, this would be the only one to get.
Yeah, if you don't want to pay for a femto lock, yeah. Here is a very good example of a very healthy car.
It was our benchmark today.
Yeah, this is the 2020 Supra, so also a 2-port car. This green line right here.
Yeah, because I have a 2-port in here.
Yeah, so we actually just finished this car this week and we sent it out Friday. This is a Mk5 Flex Fuel Kit, full exhaust car, and this car made just shy of 500 horsepower at 497 horsepower. And a lot of torque.
That's as much as you could ever expect from a stock turbo, almost, right?
Yeah, this is like a really good car on this dyno, and in similar conditions, so that's why I want to pull it up.
Yeah, it's actually almost the same.
This week, 101 degrees. Again, this car will get you off the hit, like no doubt.
Oh yeah.
Look at this, like at 4 to 4,500.
It's got an extra 30 wheel torque or something.
Yeah, but up top, you're still beating him. So even then, the drop is not as steep here. So at 6,500 RPM, you are looking at 484 horsepower on your best one.
Yeah.
Versus 456.
So that's a super healthy car. So what if you just slap this turbo on his car with all those mods?
I wish I could find
right?
out.
I wonder what that would even be, but yeah.
Yeah, really good fuel too. That we use the good fuel that we have here. At 6,000 RPM, your best run was 501. If you want to look at your best run right here, 501 horsepower versus 477. Still,
it's about 30.
Yeah. So still a good difference. Not as much as the other car. I still want to show a good example car just to let you know there are some really healthy stock turbo cars out there. There are some duds out there that barely makes 450.
And this is the closest comparison in terms of same 2-port, same temperature.
Yeah, and I can actually show you one that has like a pretty nice example. So
Supra again.
This is a 6-port Supra actually, and 71 degree dyno temperature. That means it's like 60 degrees outside. And this car made 502 horsepower and 577 torque. So hella torque. And that nice
it rolled through.
It carried out, and it's kind of close to what your car did here today.
Yeah.
But remember, this is a 30-degree difference in temperature.
So this should be roughly 30 wheel, 20 wheel.
Yeah, stock turbo cars can get close to this, but again, this is an ideal condition, ideal car. I just want to pull it up so you guys can see. If we put this car today in the same conditions that this car was in, I think it'll make more.
Yeah, so no matter how you slice it at 6,000 RPM, it beats any stock turbo car, but not by a huge margin.
I mean,
it's a really good stock turbo replacement if your stock turbo smoking or it's failed, for sure.
Yeah. Again, compared to a average B58 stock turbo car, it's still gonna gap it up top. And again, if you really hate having to shift the car at 6,000 RPM to stay in the power band, this is a good option for you. If you want to rev the car out to 7,000 all day, this is the turbo to get.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for the time and expertise in the B58.
Yeah, very hot in here. This is actually a really good option for those of you that live in really strict countries or even states in the US that either don't allow modification or don't allow even tuning of the car. This option looks stock. It is pretty much stock. You can run it on a stock tune. This thing, you don't have to foster or anything. If they even hook it up, check.
So there's no way it's not giving you at least 20-30 wheel, no matter what scenario.
Yeah, it will do fine with a stock downpipe too.
Really?
It's not,
that's interesting.
It's not being pushed out much, right? So it's not much difference. You can do a completely stock car that can pass emissions in those crazy strict countries, and legit just run a stock tune and put a splash of ethanol in there, and it'll make 400 plus.
Yeah.
So
that's the more impressive part, I guess, the fact that it could work with stock tunes and/or off-the-shelf options without it being risky and giving you a little bit of something. You know, similar kind of gains to just putting a downpipe on a stock car. Is that fair to say?
I think will be more because a downpipe will usually add 5 to maybe 10
horsepower
on this, because we've done some comparisons on this.
So I think this is adding 25 average for like untuned.
Yeah.
Something like that, 20, 25.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, man. Thank you. This is his personal Supra, so let's go take a look at it. Really quick interjection, I'm doing members only right now. I'm trying to upload more regularly, but financially it doesn't make a lot of sense with the algorithm and the way things are nowadays. Thank you very much to the members that did join, highly appreciated. If you look down where the subscribe button is on your phone, you'll see a join button. When you click that, you'll have two options. $4.99, which is an extended tier where you see none of the fluff cut out and all the nuance left in. If you click that, you'll see videos earlier, as well as you'll see longer, less condensed versions of my videos that I put out anyway. You'll help subsidize others being able to see my videos on the regular, because it doesn't make sense financially, like I said, unless you get a banger video, which hasn't happened in years. And then you have the exclusive tier, which is $14.99. That would be for the super supportive OG members that really want to see me thrive. I unlocked a 2021 DME at home. on that tier. There should be another exclusive video to see. There's already one where I unlocked the DME at home. Then there's going to be a new one where I actually pulled the board off of this heatsink because of a new unlock method that just came out from Auto Tuner. So I'm only going to ask like this for a few months, depending on how things go, while I try to upload regularly. Hopefully it'll work out. It looks like there's signs of hope for that. So please consider supporting the channel. Thank you.
This is probably like one of the few Supras that's in Houston with a big turbo setup that's actually running like a lot. So, you know, I take this car to Mexico and, you know, we have fun and a lot of stuff. Not a lot of Supras out here at this power level are doing this. Honestly, this is like a very, in my opinion, a budget setup for this
budget
kind of
for a
power.
big single.
Yes, yes. So I save money where I can, but I didn't cheap out on stuff that that you can't, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll go through all the mods, obviously, so you guys know what's going on. This is a 6466 precision turbo, very middle, kind of a middle ground turbo between responsiveness and top end power.
Yeah.
I really like this turbo because I can hit this car at 4,000 RPM. I get full boost instantly.
Okay.
Versus like a 6870, which is the next step up. That's a very popular turbo on these cars. That's a turbo that really spool. Even the next gen turbos, they spool at like, they really go into full spool past like 5,000 RPM.
So this is a sweet spot for still being able to daily drive, but it makes over 700?
I think for a stock engine setup that you want anywhere from 700 to 800 horsepower.
What about trans?
And transmission, we'll get into that.
Okay.
This is a built trans, but we kind of have to at this level.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then the turbo kit itself is a spool performance turbo kit because this is like a prototype kit with testing stuff.
Yeah.
So the fitment isn't the exact same as the current production ones.
Okay.
So you can see that the turbo kind of sits really close to the valve cover.
So they moved it more.
So
it's more angled, right?
Yeah, they angled it a little bit more. So I kind of learned from this. This turbo kit for the price and the simplicity, really being like a log manifold versus like a crazy, you know, Cal-Am, ETS,
or equal length and all that.
Yeah, and all the stuff. This turbo kit works really well for what it is, really. So I do recommend this kit as like I wouldn't call this a budget kit. It's not cheap for the stock engine guys that really only wants 800, maybe 850 raw horsepower.
Only.
And, yeah, well, yeah, I know.
you know once you work at a place
guys,
like
right?
this, 1,000.
Yeah, you know, B58 guys are always like, oh, 900 horsepower bus.
Yeah,
right?
keyboard warriors.
1,000 horsepower bus, right? If you have a B58 big turbo, you don't make 1,000. What are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but turbo kit's really nice. It's a single 45mm wastegate. Same thing. This car's already open dumped from the downpipe. It's a 3-inch downpipe, and it just goes straight down. And I have a turn down below the passenger footwell area. I've ran this for, I think, 3 years now on this turbo kit with no issues.
750 wheel?
Yeah, 750. So 750 to 800 horsepower.
And it gets 3 years beating the crap out of it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So if
40 pounds of boost.
because you're staying under the limit of the rods, they're happy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. You know, good tuning. You know, you always want good fuel. That's another thing.
Good tuning.
Yeah. So then moving on to the next part is the intake manifold. So honestly, this is a China manifold. So this is one of those Alibaba special it's a CSF clone. Bolt for bolt, it's the exact same.
Sure,
so,
probably made in the same factory.
Yeah, and
so what was this, like 2,500?
This is $2,000 versus $4,500
for a B58. Right? It's very cheap.
So for half the price, you're not getting half the performance. I'll still see 140 degrees IAT at like top of 6th gear. But compared to stock manifold, it's a huge difference.
Stock manifold will get cooked.
I've actually hit 200 degrees IAT before on the street in 6th gear. A stock intake manifold, same boost. And that was the last pull I did where I was like, no, that's it.
If you kept doing that, you would have melted a piston.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Something would have gone on if I kept doing that. And I have safeties in tune to start cutting power
by IAT.
High.
Okay.
Yeah, so that helped me a little bit. So the car does slow down, but still not good. It's got ID 1050X injectors for PI. Everything's obviously hooked up to Reflex and Reflex Plus controller for motive. And
you're tuned on EcuTech?
Yes, EcuTech. And so it's fully integrated. Really nice to tune. When it comes to PI, external wastegate, a secondary fuel pump, everything's all integrated into Reflex and then controlled via EcuTech.
You have a secondary low pressure?
Yes. Okay. This is a Visconti.
You need it after 600 wheel?
Yes, I would say, if you even do PI on a setup like this, I would just do low pressure. Just to keep the low pressure happy. Because even on stock turbo, if you add PI,
makes
low
sense.
Pressure's being kind of
because it wants a lot of volume.
Yeah, and I wish these cars, like the S58 cars, have a low pressure sensor as well. Because those cars have it, the B58 cars don't.
They don't.
I really like to log those cars, log those stock turbo cars sometimes.
N54 used to have it back in the day.
Really? Yeah. So, but obviously with a reflex setup, we added a low pressure sensor on and then hooked up the reflex. Yeah, so the PCV is deleted on this car. It has black market races.
You close off the head?
Yeah, it has the block out pins that deletes the PCV. And obviously you need a vent to atmosphere catch cannon used to vent pressure from the valve cover.
Yes.
So obviously do the PCV port here and do the oil cap.
You're still running the stock HPFP?
Yeah, stock TU pump.
You just made up for, you just said screw it, I'm going straight to PI.
Yeah.
You think that overall width to a port is just smarter than even bothering with your low pressure, high pressure?
If you go and port on a TU car, I wouldn't bother doing anything with the high pressure, with the DI side, high pressure pump injectors. Leave it stock.
I made a video years ago that completely contradicts that. I installed a spool HPFE overdrive kit, talking about how you want the DME to be in full control, but with these, with reflex, you got the same level, right?
Exactly. I wide open throttle on 40 pounds boost. I'm doing about a 60% PI and 40% DI split.
But when you're driving normally, it's just
100% DI while under until a certain level.
You ever thought about just biasing it 30% so you can keep your valves clean and just
so
cool your charge?
On certain setups, so once you get big power, the DI cannot keep up even keeping up with a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
We'll do like a 70% split on the PI.
Okay.
And those cars are pretty much almost full PI. I wide open throttle. Sometimes we do a little bit more PI, depending on the setup. Not everyone's gonna be the same.
I think on my B58, you did pretty heavy bias. You guys did a heavy bias on PI.
No, yes. On the B48, it's a lot on the DI side because we're not. The DI side is not being pushed that hard.
Because it's got the same pump and it's chilling.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if I remember right on your car, when we did the IMS 450 turbo and PI setup with the 550cc injectors.
Yes.
And I think that stock low pressure because you don't really need that.
Because it's an M340i.
Yeah. So I think we were maybe using like it's a 30% PI and 70% DI at wide open throttle at 30 pounds.
Okay.
Whatever boost were.
So there was a lot of headroom there to make a little more power with a bigger turbo.
At this level, on this engine, you need a lot more PI than DI. But I still don't like doing a lot all PI. Like if you do like
it's a lazy approach, right?
If you do like 90% PI and 10% DI, you just eat PI, right? A car kind of drives weird when the transition between DI and PI.
From my perspective, I think that you should stay under 600 wheel on a Gen2 B58.
Yeah, so all the F30, 340i, 540i, all those M240is, those guys reaching out to you asking if I can push
how far can I push it?
If I can push the same power as a TU car, I would say yes, but I see the Gen 2 cars having more success at being reliable long term. So they can make a similar peak, but they may not last as long. So
I'm going to give my controversial take. Okay. So why do Gen 2s make more power reliably?
Is it because it's low?
Because of the fuel pressure being bumped up. Yes, because that mitigates low speed pre-ignition.
Okay.
So any tuner that will just bias toward a lot of PI is probably going to leave you more susceptible to the old school way of getting low speed pre-ignition. On a big single, not so much, right? But if you got someone that has a hybrid turbo and they're chasing, let's say Pure 850?
Pure 850, yeah.
Okay, and they're pushing things and they're on 93, they switched their map.
Oh yeah, 500 horsepower is a lot of power on 93.
On 93.
Oh, on the B58. Especially Gen 1 because they're high compression as well. So
but the rods are just as strong.
I think so.
These rods are basically indestructible. I knew that. I knew that you could probably, like, not even kidding here, I think you could make 1300 wheel torque before you bend a rod on one of these. If
you do things right, you can maybe get a few dyno poles.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like in theory, in terms of like the metallurgy. So that's why I just went crazy on the 4-cylinder. We like 580 wheel torque. I'm like, I'm not even scared of torque. Go for it. I gave all clear rods, on that.
The
same rods. Even on Gen 1. It's all about, are you protecting your piston or not, right?
Yeah, because that's the weak point. A lot of people blow them up by just straight up disintegrating the piston.
That's what I like about the 2-port that has like more cast iron built into the piston because of being in an X7, so that it's under heavy load with towing and stuff like that.
It's
just the heads that are limited.
We have a theory that the 2-ports are stronger because of that.
You have back pressure that melts things still.
So I don't know. I don't have all the data to back it up, but in our experiences tuning these cars, like tuning Supras at big power levels on stock engines, these guys love pushing stock block power with big turbos. We've had more success for whatever reason.
No, there's no whatever reason. I can tell you.
Yeah. So 2-port cars versus a 6-port.
That's why I did this. I'm like, you know what? I want a 2-port because they're cheaper, and I'm going to put a 6-port head when I do a big turbo. Yeah. And therefore, you got the bottom end of the 2-port and you got the head flow of the 6. It will make another 100 wheel before a blow up, I think.
Well, let's find out.
Right?
Let's find out.
but anyway, going back to the fuel pressure. So you always want to leave a bias toward DI on most driving scenarios.
Yes.
Driving scenarios.
And honestly, under light, low, and the most stage driving, like on this car specifically, it's 100% DI. The PI is not even on.
Yeah. So, but what happens when you have a medium-sized turbo that's someone doesn't downshift? They're cramming boost into the under 2,000 RPM. They're putting 20 psi in the block, so to speak, from the turbo. The fuel's not going to be able to. You're going to have hot spots. It's not going to be able to atomize. So when you have high pressure, it's for emissions, but it also pushes and mixes with the.
I think it's 5,000 psi versus a 2,000 psi system in the Gen 1.
Yeah, so it's actually mixing with that high pressure in the cylinder at low RPMs. That's why they last. So can you be very careful in the way you had a Gen 1 guy that went right? Like if you're a good driver and you have common sense, you don't.
Yeah, you're downshifting.
Just make sure you're at 4,000. You'll probably last just as long.
Especially with big turbo setup, you really don't want to be lugging a car at 2,000 RPM, flooring it, nothing's gonna happen.
But most people will make that mistake.
So we do our part in our tuning to have all the safeties in there and tune the car in a way. If you do floor at 2,000 RPM, it's not gonna target 40 pounds of boost at that range. So. It won't do it no matter what, but you know, some people you can get, if you get a high enough load at low RPM, you can still make some boost.
Of course,
So you can floor in 7th gear, 8th gear at 2,000-3,000 RPM, and
you'll start building
boost.
boost.
Get 30 pounds of boost out of that on a mild turbo setup, and it's a lot.
So to go back, if you had a Gen 1 and you never floored it under 4,000 RPM, they'll probably last just as long. They're just as strong. The broads are going to be what hold, right?
Yeah, and you keep up the maintenance on the car because, like I said, a lot of these guys are bringing in Gen1 B58s of over 100,000 miles and wanting to mod them, and they're like the 3, 4, 5th owner of that car.
And this doesn't translate to the 4-cylinder. So many people are asking me on the B58 from the F30 because you have to give it some boost, otherwise it's going to feel so sluggish.
It's so
it
slow.
needs a little bit of that. So my theory is 450 wheels is the limit.
The sweet spot for the
you can't make more than 450 wheel in a Gen 1. It may make 500 and it's going to eventually pop a piston. That's my theory.
450 is pretty much like not the limit, but the target range where we want to push those Gen 1 cars.
I'm going to go as far as saying wait for that single, then you can maybe say then it's maybe 550, 600, even on a Gen 1. Actually, probably closer.
To the Gen 2 cars, we want to push the 700. That's what we say once. You want to push 700
It's going to do it,
so we'll see what happens with that one Supra that you guys probably know about. That's getting a big single.
Kevin from IPOS. I asked him to send me some footage, so you guys can bug him in the comments, and I'll send it to him. I want to see that Supra. He ran 9s in it with the B48.
On the street,
right?
Mind you, that's the most impressive part. He's been, for a while, he'll go out like every weekend testing a car, trying to launch it, and him and Hussein will work on launch control strategies using custom launch control and Ecutech, or you use it without it, custom traction control.
And all that only exists because Ecutech was trying to set records for the 6. So they just carried over all these menus.
All the custom logic, like custom maps and everything we use on the B58.
Can you imagine if they would have done that for a 4-cylinder?
Copy that onto the B48, and most of it worked.
So ultimately, what would you ballpark this tuned, dialed 30K?
So I did the math when we did a video on this car.
Okay.
I did the math parts.
I'll link in the description.
If you buy all the parts I have at retail, you're spending about 22 to 25K in parts only, including the transmission, fuel system, intake manifold, turbo kit, and then add labor and tuning on top of that. So that part varies, so I can't give you like an exact price.
Roughly 30K?
I would say roughly
35.
30. Yeah, let's just say 30. Let's just say
30K, but 3 years of 800 wheel if you want it.
Yeah, if everything's done right, and also it's not just if the shop did the work right and the tuner did the work right. It's also you keep up with the car.
Yes, you have to maintain it.
You gotta do your part as well. It's not just you can spend 100 grand on this car, with everything built, everything set up properly with the top tier parts. And if you don't know what you're doing with this car, you're still gonna mess it up. You're still gonna blow it. You're never gonna run a good time. You're gonna blow it up trying to chase whatever number that you want and not knowing what's going on because you may be the problem in that equation. So it takes more than a tune. It takes more than parts to get these cars fast, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. So,
this is going to be a future classic. I'm calling it.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
100%. Yeah.
This will be. It's going to double in price in the next 10 years. Something like that's going to happen to it. I'm sure of it. They didn't make enough of them. It's got the right motor.
Yeah.
Everything is there. How many cars can make 800 wheel On
stock engines.
Stock engine, yeah.
And actually more, because if you have a bigger turbo and you want to push it a little bit, we push these to 900 plus all day on a stock engine.
I think 950 is where you're playing, right?
Yeah, well, we gotta. Yeah, we don't like to do 950, especially Dyno jet numbers. But yeah, about low 900s is what we.
And so in theory, you could put a 6-port head on a 2-port block, and you should be able to do 1,000.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting, right?
Depends on how long you want to run it for.
Because if you blow your motor when you pop a piston, you should be buying a 2-port and just slapping your head on it.
I say if you want 900 plus horsepower on a stock B58, just know that you are pushing the boundaries a little bit. You are going to risk it a little bit if you run the car. If you actually run the car hard. If you're one of those guys that just wants a number on dyno and then just brag about that and never actually run your car, that car will live forever.
I beat the crap out of my B48.
So if you actually beat on your car, 900 horsepower, just kind of expect something to go wrong at that level.
But similar to the strain I was putting on my 4-cylinder at 520 wheel.
Yeah,
something
you're also pushing it on that.
So I beat it. I said I want this to blow so I can help the community, and I was going to build it.
Yeah.
I literally tried. And you saw even some of those clips that I sent you guys. It was like me starting at like 2,000 RPM. I was really murdering that engine.
Yeah.
And it was fine. So I think it had that buffer, but it's similar concept. Yeah. I can't even imagine a street car that touches 9s. Like to me, that's just like what? Like what's going on?
I mean,
you're into 60 to 130, right?
Yeah,
that's your metric now. Well, thank you. We'll definitely see more of this car in the future, I'm sure.
Here's Mo's part. This is good example, I guess, of what you can do to a G80 M3 if you have all the money, I guess.
Yeah.
Like this is a pretty expensive setup. So this is still a daily.
I think he changed his steering wheel. He updated it to LCI.
Yep. He has the comfort seats because he prefers.
I would do the same.
Even for me, the bucket seats. Once you're in it, it's okay. Getting in and out every single day.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people mess them up on the
on the bolster, right? Yeah. All I know is those are so much better than stock G20 seats.
Yeah, and you got the work. The hot boy wheels.
Yeah.
This car.
Are they legit 2-piece?
Yeah, these are real wheels. Yeah. So
there's a lot of money in this car, man.
Yeah. So
there's like literally like 150K in this thing, man.
And of course the engine bay is crazy because.
So I haven't met Mo, but he's got good taste.
Yeah. So this is an RK turbo kit. RK Auto Works with a Garrett G40 1150 turbo. And also RK's intake manifold, so that manifold is insane. RK Auto Works.
Out of Dallas.
Yeah. So and then
I know him from a guy in UK, Living Life Fast.
Yeah. They built his car. Yeah, they built his motor.
So
and then this car has PI, low pressure pump, reflex, all the wiring for it. All the stuff you can do to pretty much keep the stock engine happy at this level.
Yeah.
So the engine is stock. The trans is built by Spool Performance down the street.
Yep.
There's Stage 2 trans, and then that's
aftermarket. You got a
little back valve, little bracket from Dock Race. Nice. So we kind of just like tapped it into the wheel right here. So.
And it's got shadow line lasers. So I ordered the lasers, and then you had the $300 shadow line. So then it would make it all black on the inside.
Yeah.
So that was like a. Actually, LCI, I don't even know is this still laser? Yeah, it's still laser.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only way to get lasers in 23 would have been on a G80.
Yeah. Damn. That's a nice
I love the color.
Yeah.
That's like got to be one of the nicest blues.
Tanzanite blue. And then actually did the clear tails.
Isn't this the new badge?
Huh?
Isn't that the updated badge from like a 25?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he changed that or not.
Yeah.
Bro, please. That's him.
Oh, bro, please.
Yeah. And he has a GT House exhaust catback from him.
Yeah.
Actually.
How much is that exhaust?
So, oh god, I don't even know, but I know. But this is probably the better sounding exhaust for these cars, even on big turbo. So. When you single turbo one of these cars, right, it makes it sound so much better.
Yeah.
But there's still a difference in catback on how they sound. So when people come to us asking what's the best sounding and flowing setup,
so you just basically point to this.
He tells you if you don't want a full catback, do this mid pipe, do this, or do this. Mid-pipe,
even with the big single, he factors.
He's done the other stuff before. This is his current new setup.
Okay.
And then this honestly probably sounds the best out of the.
Because S58 with a big turbo sounds better than anything.
Yeah, but even he had a different setup before on the big single, and he had a different mid pipe and axle back. But this one sounds better in my opinion.
Let's see.
So yeah, I mean,
this will be a fan favorite for sure.
Yeah, if you want to spend 30, 40 grand until
yeah.
G80.
Is that OEM carbon pack or no?
So this is all aftermarket. So the grill, lip, obviously.
I wanted all this when I ordered my G80. They offered it, and it was like 5Gs, so I didn't do it.
Yeah, definitely do it for cheaper aftermarket.
Now they have aftermarket stuff.
Yeah. I think he's also gonna do the carbon strut bars and everything if he wants to do that, just to clean it up, match everything up.
Yeah.
A lot of people do the carbon like this cover right here.
Yeah.
To make it look cool, but
that's really sick. That's
a showstopper. There's very few big turbo S58s in Houston. Like big single turbo cars. And the other one that's here is done by us too. So
that's pretty sick.
That's the one you met this morning, the frozen white one. This car and that car is at similar horsepower level.
7 and change.
Yeah, but this car you can actually get into 6th gear and not worry about it because it has a built trans.
Yes. Yeah.
The other car, he's like, it could do it, but not for long.
No, not back to back.
Yeah. So,
awesome.
Very nice setup.
Yeah, for sure. Quick tour of Racebox here. Alex is going to guide us through.
Kind of messy right now because we have all the cars pulled in on the weekends. All the cars, at least at the shop if we can, we try to store inside. So
that's your shop car?
Right here.
Yep.
Yeah. Right now it's just sitting on a tender. It's just because we don't really do anything with it right now.
Yeah.
There's no tracks to take this to locally, so we can't do much with it. This car makes 750 horsepower.
Oh, it already has?
About 600 wheel torque on the Z1 turbos and 5.5, 60 to 130 on this car.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's
stock Waterman.
Yeah, stock engine, stock trans. I know guys at AMS Performance, they ran a 9.2 quarter mile
in
their Z. When they took it out, I believe still stock engine, stock trans as well.
Nice.
And then there's also our boy Mark at Sonic Team. I think he ran on hyper turbos and ran a 9.7.
Oh, nice.
Quarter mile. I don't remember too much about that. It's been a while.
So for people that doubt the VR,
people are pushing these cars deep into 9 stock, and it just kind of sucks that we don't. They don't sell very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're bringing this engine back out and then replacement Q50.
I think yes.
Which is cool.
So yeah, and I think they want to offer it in the manual as well in the Q50 because now the Z comes with a manual trans.
Yeah.
That you can just literally take that, put it in the Q50 and just call it a day. This car is crazy fast. This car actually ran a faster 60 to 130 in the Z because he actually ran it and
it's all-wheel drive.
Yeah, all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Also, traction wasn't as much of an issue. He spins a little bit, but this car ran a 5.3 60 to 130.
Damn, man. Because they're not light.
Yeah, stock they're like close to, it's like a G80, like close to 4,000 pounds. We've seen this car run like from like a 7 down to like a 505.
That's pretty sick.
Pretty crazy progress. The customer G80 M3, it's already Finto locked, it's already got all mods on. It just needs an oil change and a custom tune at this point. Customer Q50, customer Z.
And you're doing the same type of turbos on that one, right?
Yeah, so that's actually already done. So we're actually waiting to do a first start.
So you drop the engine on that?
Yeah, you have to drop the engine on that Z. Same Z1. I think he has the bigger Z1 turbos, and we have some law cars here. That's Anna's car back there, the Civic, and then customer car, and then this is Taylor's car that he's working on. I think he's here just to do some maintenance.
N54.
Yeah, N54 and 54.
Both of them, right?
Yeah.
The viewers are asking for that, so they'll be happy to see some of them.
Yeah.
So that was Alex, the guy that tuned my car. Very knowledgeable kid, very impressive. They have their own channel, link in the description if you want to follow along on other things that they do. He's really good on the B58. He kind of honed in his skills over the last few years. And then we have another Alex there that does the VR30 platform and also delves in the B58. And then we have Hussein. He wasn't shown in this video, but I've known him since he was a little kid. If you go to the description and check out their channel, you'll see more of him on there. But I watched him build this business from the ground up. It was very impressive to see. He's very knowledgeable, and believe it or not, he's one of the top ECU tech tuners in the world now after just a few years. So a little background about Racebox. When this thing was a 4-cylinder with the B48 or B46D, making well over 500 wheel torque and pushing the limit, that's who tuned me. The Tanzanite Blue S58 G80 that you saw in this video, that's one of the partners' cars, Mo. That thing's beautiful as you had seen, and it could make 1,000 wheel. They've tuned multiple S58s and they've kind of mastered that platform. As you saw, there was multiple S58s in the shop in the video. Then you got Gen2 B58. You saw that red Supra pushing 800 wheel for years now. More than you could ever count in terms of what they've tuned on that platform, remote and locally. And then they've pushed the boundaries on the Gen1 B58. They're pushing it just as far as the Gen2. If you check their channel, you'll see a silver 2 series that's being pushed like crazy. Really interesting to see. So you got Gen1 B58, Gen2 B58, S58, B48. It's all a similar tuning philosophy. Only thing left would be Gen2 B58. They're also pushing that to the point where they're going to be making well over 400 horsepower on the regular now. I wholeheartedly endorse them. And if I seem a little bit biased or as if I'm treating this like a sales pitch, it's just because I want to see them succeed, and also I trust them, and you know, they've proven themselves anyway. But I can just tell you that I'm not getting anything out of this. There's no affiliate arrangement or anything like that. You got a Gen1, Gen2 B58, S58, Gen1, Gen2 B48, you know where to go, in my opinion. Right now this car is pretty much dialed in terms of an awesome daily where it has borderline too much torque to be able to use it on the street. So now I would like to just absorb and not get bored of this platform. That's why I'm doing it in stages like this. This is a stage 1 turbo. Next thing I would say is maybe try a stage 2 and do a little bit of lean spool and maybe do 600 wheel but keep the torque down, or maybe a bigger turbo that spools a little bit later. And then there'll come a point where get the new turbo setup, and then beyond that I would say, okay, well, if we're going to keep pushing this B58 to put out interesting content, I would be looking at the head swap from a 6-port to keep the 11-to-1 compression, to keep the strong pistons, but also not have the back pressure in the head and have proper flow. Then could it make 900 wheel all day long? Would I want that personally? No, but would it be good for content if there's a lot of eyeballs on the channel? Sure. Just as I've done the drivetrain swap in terms of changing the engine, I have the knowledge now that if I really wanted to, I could all-wheel drive convert this car, and then it would actually make sense to push it that far. So it would be a 330i with a 2-port B58 bottom end, a 6-port head, Gen 2, all-wheel drive conversion, something Frankenstein at the next level. Could be fun. Now, if you're looking for my conclusions on this turbo, I would say that I was a guinea pig, and would I recommend it? Probably not to 95% of you guys. But for that 5%, you're gonna love what this feels like on the street. When I had my S58 G80, that thing would put you back into the seat until you're ready to shift. You never got that fade off feeling. When I had the 4-cylinder with the big turbo, same story. Right till red line, the faster you go, the more exciting it was. So I found the ultimate combination in terms of just being awesome on the street. Traction 1 press off, shifter in S mode, sport individual, so engines in sport, not sport plus, transmissions in comfort, and steering's in comfort, and you just drive it normally and you're just ready to roll whenever something happens. And when you mash the throttle, the way it puts you back and auto shifts at red line still pulling, it's kind of nuts. So if you want to mindlessly drive your car, that's where this comes in big time, because otherwise you would feel the car get slow and you kind of get lean forward and then you'd feel it get back into power. The auto shifting wouldn't be that great. You'd want to manually shift it. So you got to be in a different headspace. You almost have to say, I'm in the mood to rip it. With this turbo, if you leave it in auto mode in terms of transmission shifting and you just mash it, it's just going to pull as hard as it possibly could till red line every time. So that's fun. And that you can only get with a small turbo like this, which is barely bigger than stock, but it's still something. It would be interesting to try the Hypercore. Maybe if enough of you guys are interested, I can talk to Dynamic Auto Works. I was supporting them back when they had no name recognition on the N54 with the twin turbos. When everybody said those are generic eBay turbos, and I said they're a company called DAW, nobody knew what they were. So where this comes in perfectly is if you have a stock turbo that failed and you don't want to have to tune the car, put this in, you get a little bit more up top. If someone's starting from scratch, they have a downpipe and they're like, I think I want to do a custom tune at this point, but I don't want the power to be too crazy because I have rear wheel drive, this could be good as well. But for most people to gain 30-50 wheel just after 6,000 RPM, it's not going to be worth it for you, especially if you're not doing your own labor. But you kind of get the sense of where it could be fun. Rear wheel drive, you want the car to auto shift, you want 500 horsepower, nears makes no difference at red line. That's what this comes in. I'm not sure if you're going to be impressed by what this car put down today, but it does feel a little bit more lively on the street. Thank you for watching.